Well, it's very generous of you to say that it's my creation. It's Robin Lee's creation. Robin Lee created Solène Marchand in her amazing book, The Idea of You. And then Jennifer Westfeldt adapted Solène into a version of what is in the film. And I definitely contributed to it, but Michael Showalter also really shaped it. Amy Williams, our production designer, Jackie DiMatterio, our costume designer, Jim Frona, our cinematographer. Everybody kind of came together on a team to try to tell the story of this woman who has this really unexpected thing happen to her. And, there's so many fun, poppy elements to the movie, but really deep down it is a love story, and it is about a woman healing from this terrible trauma that she went through, that her ex-husband put her through when he broke her heart. And the story is in a way kind of about her finding her heart in a new way with this wonderful person that comes into her life called Hayes Campbell.
I mean, dare I say we didn't really work at it so much that it kind of came quite organically to us, and we just built a friendship really over pre-production, and we were texting each other a lot, and we were really just getting to know each other as people. And then when you finally act in those sort of intimate moments, if you feel a closeness to someone, you can do it with ease. And I think we tell a really amazing story in those intimate moments. We tell one of female pleasure, which is often relegated in films like this. And so I think we were just definitely we had the same North Star, and we just were friends, so it kind of made it very easy, really.
Oh, I was amazed. It was so good. So, you have to understand, we were not at Coachella. We were in a field, just kind of outside Atlanta, Georgia. And it was mind-blowing. They built an entire stage with a complete lighting rig, and scaffolding and everything, and there were sets. And then the guys who I'd been hearing, from Nick, who I have to say, it's really a lot to be filming a movie while rehearsing dance at the same time. So whenever Nick wasn't kind of on camera doing all of the things that you have to do as an actor, he was transforming into this, the lead singer of this internationally beloved boy band. And so I'd been hearing about it, and then to actually see it in action, I was just really happy for everybody. And I also, cynically was like, it works. The movie's gonna work. This is so much fun. And then, sorry, just one last thing, because I'm talking too much. And then to watch the background artists, who, let's be honest, were paid to be there. To watch them on the first night go from, just background artists who were there because they'd been hired, to the third night they knew every word, they had favorites in the band, they were completely invested, they came to and the crew started dressing up like moonheads, and to see all of that was really, really special, because nobody has to do that. Everybody was just having a great time and wanted to lean into it, so it was just really fun.
It was those nights especially. I mean, I'd really bonded with the boys. Throughout the whole experience, we were in the same hotel together. We'd hang out every day, and just desperately trying to get as much dance training under my belt as possible. There never seems to be enough time when you need to learn a skill like this, and so it was very daunting. But then, you come out on the stage, and there's kind of very little acting required, because it's all there around you, and just sort of playing into the chemistry that kind of already existed between the lads. But running down the catwalk and jumping into the crowd and getting your shirt pulled out and everything. I mean, it's very, very surreal, and you kind of have to. You do feel like you're playing to a crowd of about 80,000, but we're very indebted to the supporting artists who showed up. It was 3 a.m. in the morning, on a cold night in Atlanta for 3 days. So yeah, and as Annie said, you know, with our crew, they never were just like clocking in to come to work. I mean, they were equally invested in the band and our story.
Everyone fell so deep in love in this movie. Like when we went to take the crew photo, at the end of it, like I have a video of it where I just kind of pressed record and did a circle, and the actual chemistry that was between all of us, like not like Nick and I got to like, you know, represent it, but everyone was so in love on this movie. Everybody was so kind. It just kind of felt like this one of those really special experiences that you're just gonna remember forever.
I mean, so special that you know, we had our screening at South by Southwest a month ago, whatever it is now. So many of the crew from Atlanta drove over to Texas to support us. And
We
I
all
think
got an Airbnb together.
that doesn't
And
always
our
happen.
cinematographer, for people who couldn't get an Airbnb,
Yeah.
he got them one.
Incredible.
Like, so that way we all like the after party was kind of like the dress up wrap party.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for saying that. That's really kind, and like kind of the only thing, like you really, at least I was really hoping for was, in my role, was that you could feel their bond. And I think from the moment that we met, she was just very open and willing to get to know me, and so she's so inquisitive and insightful and can truly like connect over anything. And so I think it was just sort of finding these pockets during filming. Like she was just so generous with her time and with her energy with me that I think it would be like impossible not to bond with her. It was like such a natural kind of progression of our relationship in real life and then in the film, because she was just really willing to like give me her time. And I think because of that, we just sort of ended up getting to know each other naturally. And then when you act with her, she's really giving and really calming. And I think I let my guard down a lot, and guard down, it's an Oxmoon song. Sorry. And I did let my guard down, and I think it was like just this kind of natural coming together where we just ended up both, I hope she did, but we ended up both feeling really comfortable and really like just had a lot of fun with each other. And I think that, yeah, just like forming a friendship with her made that really, really possible. And she made it very, very easy.
I think he's, you know, I love playing these characters, by the way. I think there's something very, you know, current and timely about these characters, because we're seeing them so often. I think he's a product of his generation. He's a product of his time, in that, you know, he's a privileged guy who has, you know, led a fairly self-centered life, who's getting a bit of a reckoning. And this is happening, you know, it's happening all around us. So yeah, to sort of prep for him, I really just tried to zero in on how to make him relatable, because I feel like, you know, if you can find a way to make the villain, as it were, relatable to the audience, it packs a bigger punch for your hero, you know, because the audience gets torn, and they get a different experience, saying sort of like, I see why I don't like this guy, but there's maybe something about him that's reflecting something back at me about myself. And I love the experience when you're sort of wondering, it's like wow, what makes this, you know, this bad guy tick, and why is he being such an obstacle, rather than just being, oh, he's an obstacle just because he's an asshole, you know, because no one is just, well, I mean, I guess there are people out there who are just assholes, and you know who you are. But I think it's much more interesting if you know, there's something a little unexpected, you know, in these characters, and something that you know, that you like about the guy. I think we all have that. We all have, you know, our good days, our bad days. You know, you might meet an asshole on a great day and think he's wonderful. You might meet someone wonderful on a bad day and think they're just absolutely horrible, and everything in between. So that's what Michael did with this movie, is he made it very authentic. He made all these characters, you know, very real and very relatable. And I think that's why the audience is connecting to it so much, because it's it's not offering up these characters in a way that sort of like shoves them down your throat. It just sort of says, here they are, they're fully realized human beings that you can all relate to, and this is the journey that they go on together.
Yeah, it was amazing. That's such a great question. It was amazing. They all worked so hard on that, and it really showed. It was just such a seamless performance, and so clearly so boy band. It was exactly what you wanted, and it made doing the scene a lot easier because we're in this crowd watching them perform on this gigantic stage, and it was like it made my job so easy because I was like, how could I not be, watching this group of people just like enchanted by this boy band, and having the most fun because the songs are so much fun. And so like it was really special to get to see it and to see it live, before I saw the film, because it was just like such a visceral version of that experience. It was awesome. And I've never been to Coachella, so it was wish fulfillment for me.
I think we have a fascination with these characters. These are for me anyway, it's this incredible moment in our culture where we have this incredibly intense love and fascination with these pop stars, these young pop stars, both male and female. And so at a time when the culture is really embracing them as artists, as celebrities, and they have real social value. The way that I think that these young pop stars are incredibly progressive, and so it felt like a perfect character to tell a story about. Well, for me, the sort of the challenge as in telling this story was to hopefully make the audience feel like, yeah, this is what would happen. This is how it could work. Is that as different as they are, as seemingly opposed as they are in their lives, they actually have quite a lot of similarities. They actually both feel alone in a lot of ways. They both have a lot of vulnerability that with the other person they feel safe sharing. She doesn't really know who he is. She doesn't know why all those things about him. And so there's definitely physical attraction, but they need to get to know each other as people in order to fall in love. And that was, for me, that was the challenge in writing and directing the movie. Well, we had a pretty exhaustive search for the Hayes character, and we met a lot of incredible guys. But definitely when Nick came along, we felt like he combined all of the different qualities that we were looking for in this character. Charming, believable as a star, romantic, but also there's a relatability there, and he's also very funny. And so we needed, he was the perfect blend of all the qualities we were looking for in the character. Yeah, well, we worked with this unbelievable songwriter, Savan Katecha, who's in the pop world and has written songs for every single major pop artist just about that exists out there. So he created this incredible sound for the group. And then, yes, as you say, I mean, for the mega fans out there, there's a real evolution you see, not just from August Moon to Hayes Campbell, but even August Moon themselves. In the beginning of the movie, they're listening to like an earlier August Moon song. And then by the time we see them at Coachella, they've sort of started to get more adventurous musically. So Savan did an incredible job building them, world building with the August Moon musical evolution. I think that's just how I think hopefully like a lot of my films have that quality. That's sort of just how I see things. So that's just kind of my tone as a storyteller, is to try to make the world feel real and familiar, like you kind of get lost in it. And there's all sorts of ways that I do that in terms of locations and the way the set, the production design and the way we shoot it and the way the performances. But for example, the big breakup scene in the movie happens in a car. It happens in her car, parked. A different movie might have done that in some fantastic location overlooking, overlooking the Pacific Ocean or something like that. So for me, a lot of it is in finding small moments that feel human. And so, but I think for me, it's not, it would almost be more challenging to do it the other way, because this is just how I see the world.